Welcome, Airsidetv viewers, in association with Flying News. I'm Jon Elliot, and today we're at Coventry Airport, and behind me is Douglas DC3 Dakota, owned and operated by Air Atlantique. And we're going to be taking this aircraft today to Duxford to bring you highlights of the Duxford 2004 Air Show. And we hope to interview the captain of this aircraft shortly and bring you a little insight into this fantastic aircraft, one of a number of DC3 Dakotas that are owned and operated by Air Atlantique. So without further ado, sit back and enjoy the rest of the show. I'm Jon Elliot for Flying News. Okay, well, we've just arrived at Duxford in Air Atlantique's DC3, and I'm joined by Pete Parker. Pete, welcome.
Hello there. Hi.
Welcome to Flying News.
Thank you very much.
First of all, tell us a little bit about this DC3 aircraft we're on board today.
Okay, this one owned by Air Atlantique for the last 20 years. The last public transport airplane operated in the UK at the moment, so we're proud of that, and we'd like to keep it going as long as we can. Built in 1945, missed out on D-Day, but was involved with the Berlin airlift heavily, and it's come through various airlines until we acquired it nearly 20 years ago.
Is this the only DC3 Air Atlantique have got, or I thought they owned about 2 or 3 of them?
Oh yes, we've got another 3 aeroplanes, and we've also got some spare carcasses of aeroplanes which we could get in the air if needed. No, we've been, as I say, we used to have 9 DC3s operational for the oil pollution spraying all around the country, but that's now been moved on to the Electras. Yeah. So we're just operating this one at the moment for public transport. We've got another one down for radar, airborne radar working lab, which works out. We've done some work for the Nimrod project. Yep. The radars on that. So and that's some really interesting flying because we do some really strange things.
Oh, right. Yes. So in terms of sort of serviceability and being able to acquire parts for this aircraft, is it the aircraft still reasonably viable in terms of flying, sort of doing events like this today, bringing passengers to air shows? Is it still sort of a viable aircraft? And in terms of viability, how many more years would you expect it to be sort of viable? Obviously, it is getting quite an old aircraft now, but obviously a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, there are a lot of DC3s made. There are a lot of spares still available, and there are companies in America. We've got our own engine overhaul facility and propeller overhaul facility, so the spares are still around at the moment. There's a lot of DC3, as I say. The engines were also used in other airplanes. B-17 has the same, 1830 Pratt & Whitney, so there are a lot of spares around still at the moment. You can keep these going for another 20 years quite easily.
Moving on to the aircraft here, could you just run over some of the controls and gauges for the benefit of our viewers?
Sure. It's a basic aircraft, what they call a T setup for the flight control, to the flight instruments. Aileron controls. So we've got artificial horizon in the centre, airspeed indicator on the left, directional gyro in the lower centre. Up here is the navigation VOR, the altimeter, and the turn and slip. Vertical speed indicator, how fast we're going up and down. Yeah. So we've got virtually the same on the right hand side, just duplicating that. Centre instruments here are engine instruments. We've got, if we start here, we've got a dual gauge, left and right on the needles for the oil pressure. Yeah. Same again for the RPMs, left and right, and the manifold pressure. Fuel pressure, left and right again. Down here, almost out of view, are the oil temperatures. The carburetor air temperatures are on the right hand side. Yeah. Over here we've got the cylinder head temperatures. A little bit, not the most ergonomic aeroplane that you'll come across, but you get in another DC3 and they could be all somewhere else. Yeah. But it's the nature of the gauge, the aeroplane. One of the interesting features, this gauge here is it's a fuel gauge, fuel quantity gauge. We have 4 fuel tanks on the aircraft, but only 1 gauge. Right. So we have a selector. If you have a look at this, it's really interesting. Selected now on the mains, right main. If we do that, the whole instrument flicks over.
Oh, crumbs.
And it gives you the right auxiliary, and then the left auxiliary, and the left main.
I can't say I've ever seen a gauge like that before.
I haven't seen it on any other aeroplane, but
Obviously here's the
quite a
throttles,
reliable gauge.
throttles, flaps, and
coming to the centre one, we've
yeah.
got the unusual thing about the DC3. Most other twin aeroplanes you fly, the left-hand set of levers are the manifold, your throttles.
Yeah.
On the DC3 they're not, it's the RPMs.
Right.
The throttles are in the centre, which is quite unique to the Dakota. Mixtures, we have an auto lean position and an auto rich position. The auto rich position we use for takeoff, landing, climbing, and then once we're all happy up in the cruise we can click it back to the auto lean, where the engine now runs on its automatic leaning system,
Yeah.
which they actually had in 1936 when the aeroplane was designed.